Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to She's Too Real with Mrs. Lady. Please subscribe. This is a new YouTube channel. I'm going to be coming to you with a lot of informative goodies. As you can see, today's video is going to be in regards to the death investigation of Kenneka Jenkins. I have been on top of this case since day one. When they were first sharing the post that she was missing, I actually have some friends on my list that are from Chicago, so I had seen the post and I shared it. Then I had saw that she was found, but unfortunately she was not alive and she was found inside of a freezer, and it was very mysterious, so it boggled a lot of people's minds. What I do want to do in the beginning of this video is pay our respects to Kenneka Jenkins. So just bear with me and please take a moment due to the fact that her death has been exposed deeply and her personal life is being put out there, and it's, nobody wants that. It doesn't matter if you're doing good or if you're doing bad. Nobody wants their business out there. So let's just take a moment and pay our respects to her. Okay, great. Thank you. What I want to do for people that, in case they're catching up right now, I just want to give some background information. Kenneka Jenkins was a 19-year-old woman that was found inside of a hotel freezer. She had went with her friends on September 8th to attend a party that was located at the Crown Plaza O'Hare. That's in Rosemont, Illinois. It's near Chicago. She arrived the night of going into the morning. So I believe she had left her house around 11:30, and then she ended up at the party, according to the footage, at 1:13 is when a.m. So it would have been the morning of September 9th. This has been very mysterious because nobody knows from the party and nobody knows from the hotel how she ended up in the freezer and how she ended up dead. So it's been a really tough situation and everybody just wants answers. She did go over to the party with 3 of her friends. There was approximately 15-30 people at the party. She was drinking Hennessy. According to her friends, some of the statements said that she did smoke. Some statements said that she didn't. Some people weren't aware, but everybody knew that she had that 1 cup of Hennessy in her hand. So, I don't know. That was a kind of little weird to me, but whatever. She went missing around 2:30 a.m. They were getting ready to leave. She left her cell phone and her keys. Monifa and her other friend, Shamaya, left her in the hallway and went back into the room. They came back out. She was missing, so then they went back into the room and goers that she was missing, and nobody really thought anything of it. So people just kind of continued on, and the friends went to go start looking for her, and then eventually more people realized it was kind of serious, so they say 6 of them went to go looking for her, and unfortunately were not able to find her. They called the mom. The mom went back to the hotel and tried to get help for her daughter, and nobody was giving answers. The hotel didn't want to help, and there is a lot more to kind of the beginning. So if you do want to know more information, you can contact me and I can send you some information, or you can just basically look it up yourself because it's all over. A lot of people are fascinated by this, and a lot of people are sensitive, and a lot of people want answers. So a lot of people are talking about it, and I'm sure you probably already know. So let's get into what I want to discuss. Now, it's very weird. My computer just does what it wants now that I've been looking into this investigation. It's moving its mouse right now. Okay, so what I am going to be probably going back to the beginning sometimes, and this is only because the case is not open. The case was ruled an accident, unfortunately, by the medical examiners. They believe it's hypothermia, and that she died from just walking in the freezer and locking herself in there. And of course, millions of people do not believe that. It just doesn't sound logical that somebody's just going to walk into a freezer after being intoxicated and not wake up and be like, oh my God, I'm in a freezer, let me get out of here. No, it doesn't sound realistic, and it just doesn't sound logical. But regardless, I just want to make myself clear on my opinion of the issue with her best friends. I don't particularly believe that her best friends set her up to be killed. I don't know if they had anything to do with, after the fact, I don't really know that much because I'm still researching it. But what I do know is no matter what, they are responsible. I say that because I'm a female. I have 2 best friends. When we were younger, we did some crazy things, but we never left each other. So regardless, unfortunately, it falls back on the friends because they should have never left her. So I just want to make myself clear that no matter what, I do blame the friends. And that's because they came with her, should have left with her, never left her by herself. Should have left there with her. So I just want to make myself clear on that. Okay, so I'm going to have to make a lot of videos, and I might be kind of all over the place, but what I do want to make a note of is a couple of things that I have heard in the investigation. So I do want to start from the beginning, but I kind of will be skipping a lot, and that's because I'm going to be doing it in other videos. So let's talk about the 911 call, because it's just one thing from the 911 call that did stick out for me. And also what another thing is, I don't want to throw no shame on her mother, because there's people out there saying that she didn't even pass away. Be realistic. I mean, this was a person that was a real person. And if this was your family member, the last thing that you would want is if your mother, your sister, your aunt, whatever passed away, you wouldn't want them to be like, they wasn't real. So we're just not going to even entertain that at all. In the 911 call, her mother was referring to a receipt. She said that they were there the night before. And that is just a little bit suspect to me. Why would they have been there the night before? What people were saying is that, maybe the friend worked there, which we just found out. Shout out to Zach TV for letting out that interview between Irene and himself, that Irene did not work there. So for whatever reason, they were there the night before. And for whatever reason, she was able to pay the night before. She was willing to pay that $20 or the $25 that the parking fee was. But then the next night, she was concerned about it. So it's also her mother's car, so maybe her mom was there the night before. But I think her mom would have realized that before she had said, I found the receipt. Oh, wait, that's from the night before. So it's just kind of fishy that she would be there the night before. And why was that not questioned in the first place? Because what if she was there the night before? Was she meeting somebody there? Did the hotel have an eye out for her because she's been there often? Why was she there the night before? Did she know somebody that works at that hotel that she was there the night before? because we're talking about the receipt. It said the 6th. So, I'm sorry, that was 2 nights before, because she was found on the 9th. She went to the party the night of the 8th, so she was there 2 nights before. Why was she there on the 6th? It didn't make any sense to me. So, what I would like to do is throw that out there. If anybody has any information in regards to that, or if it just bobbled your mind and you're like, wow, she did say that, and why was Kenneka there? Then I just gave you some information. All right, moving along. The autopsy. According to the autopsy, she had 3,000 milliliters of topiramate in her system, which is generic for Topamax. And this is prescribed to patients from their doctors if they have epilepsy, which is a disease that will cause you to have seizures. So it will be treating the seizures, or it will be prescribed for weight loss, or it could be prescribed for migraines. And this is detailed in the autopsy, but if you look elsewhere, like on WebMD, it explains basically the same thing, that this is what it is treated for. And it was around the normal dose that would be prescribed to a patient. So she probably just ended up taking one pill, or it was dissolved in her drink, or what have you. But somehow it got into her system. So this is very questionable. And her mother said that she was not prescribed this. And also, shout out to Zach TV, Irene stated that she was not taking pills at this point, that it was not her thing. She hasn't taken a pill for over a year. So this is very questionable as to why was this in her system, and why didn't the medical examiner ask the police to further investigate why was this in her system. It's a very random medication to end up into somebody's system. Now, also, her blood alcohol level was 0.118, and according to the autopsy, Kenneka weighed 159 pounds, and according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and according to the medical examiners noted of Kenneka's weight, which was 159 pounds, she would have had approximately 4 to 6 drinks if we are judging that she would have died within the couple of hours after we seen her in the kitchen. Now, that's according to her blood alcohol level being 0.118, which was determined in the autopsy. Now, that would probably be 4 to 6 shots, and they said that she was drinking Hennessy. If she was murdered during the couple of hours after we had seen her in the kitchen, or right after that time, her liver would not have had the time to detoxify those alcohol. So that's why the alcohol was still in her body. I don't believe that she would have had more than that. But even when you do have a couple of drinks and mixed with this small dosage of this medication, she should not have been stumbling the way that she was. So that is very questionable as to why she was stumbling in that manner. But what we need to focus on is finding out who in that hotel, or even in the crowd that was with her, has a health issue of epilepsy, because the amount that was in her body was the amount that would be prescribed to an epilepsy patient. It doesn't match up with a person that is taking it for weight loss or for somebody that's taking it for migraines. So what I'm doing is tracking the information that I have. There is a lot of information, and what I do want to do is share it with other people and maybe work together. We need to put these pieces of the puzzle together so that Kenneka is able to get justice. What we are going to move on to now is the medical examiner herself. Now, I referred to the website to see if the medical examiner was listed on there. I went to the directory of pathologists, and as you can see, she is not listed on here. Who is listed is the supervisor. But it's just weird as this case exploded. And it exploded from the day that they found her in the freezer. They knew that this was going to be a high case. They do have a supervisor on it, but they should not have had any students, which she wasn't a student. She is a medical doctor. But they should have had somebody that is employed by the coroner's office, or that is somebody that is very well trained. Not saying that she's not, but she's not even on their records. So she cannot have been there for that long. But then also, when you do refer to her, her office is not even located at the coroner's office. Why wouldn't the coroner's office be her office? That would be her location that you would find her at. So this is just from what I have seen according to records. It's just weird that she's not on the website that provides us with all the pathologists. And this has been updated recently because there was a different head medical examiner, and the guy that was doing it, he said that it was way too stressful, and he resigned. And now the new medical examiner, which is on the toxicology report, the head one, she runs that place. So she is listed under the directory of pathologists. And they had to have done that recently because, like I said, she is new to being the head there. She was there for a while, but she's new to being the head. So they updated the website. Why is the doctor that performed the examination not on there? And why is her office at another location? It just doesn't make sense. Was she hired separately, not by the family, but by the hotel? Where did this woman come from? Why wasn't somebody that's listed in the directory, somebody that we know that has been working there for a while? So what I wanted to do was put this out there, which I'm sure that it already has been recognized. But also what I am doing these videos for is so that I can myself refer back to it and be like, okay, that was a question that I had. Let's dig deeper, because I have a lot of unanswered questions that may lead to an answer for the reason that Kenneka ended up dead. So what I want to do is be able to come back to this information that I observed and try to figure out the answers. So moving along. The Rosemont Police Department. I absolutely have no passion or any respect for this police department, because I believe that they did not do their job since day one. They did not set up Kenneka's death as a crime scene, as an investigation. They set it up from the moment that they found her. Oh, this is an accident. No. You have to put up the yellow tape, do not enter, A cop has to stand out by the door, make sure that nobody touches anything, and they swab that bitch in and out. They swab it all around. These officers did not do this. So right off the bat, they are finito with me. I don't give a damn. They did not do their job, and they should have been investigated themselves. Which I might be able to explain a little bit as to why they are not so much as trained and familiar with these situations, which I'm sure because it's near Chicago, they do still deal with a lot of homicides and whatnot, but that department is not so pretty. So first off, let me tell you that the officers that work there, they're public safety officers. Not that they're much different from a cop, but they still are. They are to enforce the laws when they see a crime happening, which it's similar to a college security guard or a DARE officer. It's not really a cop. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have the authority to do what they want to do, but what I want you to picture is a college security guard, a bunch of them working in the department. You get where I'm going? All right. So, now into why I think that the police department was corrupt before this. I'm sure that they had a lot of issues, but this is the main one. So they had an officer that was fired, and he was there for 30 years. I need to express this 30-year thing because 30 years is a long time. 30 years is a long time to work somewhere, and 30 years gives you something. 30 years gives you retirement. I know this because I have family members that are law officers, which is good because I'm getting a lot of information that I need. But they were able to retire at between 22 and 24 and a half years. So, what I'm trying to say is that Illinois is a little bit far from me, but not too far. I mean, driving it would be far, but it's not like crazy far. So I'm sure that the laws are a little bit similar, and the Social Security is a little bit similar. Especially Social Security, because Social Security is government. So this guy, after working for 30 years, had nothing to lose. He could cash out at any time, and he would probably be making the same amount of money that he has been making. So, him reporting this wasn't, getting him his retirement. He was already entitled to that. He had nothing really to gain from this, but to expose the police department. I am getting a little bit rowdy about this because I don't know how this was swept under the rug. I do not understand. In 2013, there was an officer that worked there for 30 years, Police Commander Frank Silenciano. He was refusing to go along with the alleged cover-ups in the small town in the shadow of O'Hare International Airport. He put this lawsuit against the town officials, and this included Donald Stevens, the grandson of the mayor, and he was being disciplined because he would not go along with misconduct. These officers were committing illegal activities, and he didn't want to go along with it. Now, there was an officer that committed suicide on steroids, and my opinion is he was murdered and covered up. And the officer that was fired did not want to go along with it. I said a few minutes ago that I didn't know how it was swept under the rug. Well, I think I got an idea. So, the chief of police of Rosemont is Donald Stevens III. You heard me right. Donald Stevens III. He is the chief of police. The mayor of Rosemont is Brad Stevens. So Donald Stevens is his nephew. It's his brother, son. And the brother is the police superintendent. So that's how everything falls together in this little town that the grandfather of the family built and put together starting around 1956. So, of course, the mayor knows what's going on because it's his family members. The mayor knew that this was going on about this lawsuit, and he probably knows about what went on with the Kenneka case, and he might know a little bit more details as to why the hotel is covering it up, and the police are working with them. We don't know if he directed them what to do or somebody in the police department directed them what to do, because they have a deal with the hotel and they don't want to mess up the hotel's reputation, which the hotel's reputation is already screwed. But think about it. Would you want to stay at a hotel that the workers are going around killing people? No, you wouldn't. So it's better off making it look like it was an accident so that people will still stay there because it was an accident that happened. So I thought it was very interesting that it's like a chain reaction. The mayor, Brad, is the mayor. Then we have the police superintendent that directed all of these people to investigate on the Kenneka Jenkins case, her death, which is incredible how this happened. The police superintendent, which is the brother, and then the son of the brother, Donald the third. So we have Donald the second. Let me just repeat it one more time just to make sure that it's organized in your head. I'm sorry. Let me start from the beginning. Brad, the mayor. Then we have Donald II, the police superintendent, controls all of the police department that's in that area. And then you have the son, which is the chief. So he's directing all of the police. But his father is the head, which he directs his son what to do. And then his son is the one that tells what the officers to do. So we have a chain reaction here. The son's name is Donald Stevens III. So we have Brad, Donald, and then Donald III. We already have a corruption in that department. And that's because it's family and everybody's working together. There's shh, 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 hush, 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 hush. And they have covered up not just the steroid incident, but also a domestic battery and a possession of cannabis. Weed. Because the individual had a close relationship with the lieutenant, who was the head of detectives at that time. So we have everybody, the detectives, we got everybody involved. And then there were some officers that were allowed to do whatever they wanted. Certain civilians could even commit illegal activities. So we're not even just talking officers. We are talking civilians. So those civilians could be people from the hotel. We are not sure. This is why this needs to be dug deeper than just this department. The FBI needs to come in. The head of the FBI should actually come in and figure out what is going on. Because if we start with the police department, then we can find out what's going on, because they're the one that's hiding stuff. I'm sure that the police department knows what happened that night, but they are protecting the hotel. They are protecting the hotel because whatever's going on, they're working together in some matter. That's why they will protect the hotel. Now you can see it. This is the actual filed papers for this judgment, this lawsuit that was pressed against the town officials of Rosemont and the the chief of police, because he's the one that's directing everybody what to do. So that's Donald Stevens III that's listed in this paperwork. And the former cop, which is Frank, he's the one that filed this against the town officials because they know what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on in this town. And then Donald, which is the chief. Tell me that there's not something going on. You cannot tell me that there's not much more going on. And what upsets me is that Kenneka lost her life that night. And nobody took the proper steps that was supposed to be able to protect her. I'm not talking about her mom. I'm talking about the outsiders that's supposed to protect the community, because that was a public property. That is public property, and somebody died, and it's very unfortunate that the case wasn't investigated the way that it should have been. And this could give you some answers as to why it was not investigated. And I'm just going to continue to do my research as I have been. I'm going to be putting out new videos. I wanted to add some other information regarding the organ harvesting that occurs in that town, but I don't want to make this video too long. So subscribe and you'll be the first to find out when I put out a new video. And I'm going to work on making better videos for you guys. So I want to hear your thoughts. I don't want to hear no rude comments. Keep that funky shit somewhere else. And if you guys want to discuss with me, you can contact me. I'm down to earth. I'm cool. We can discuss things. But I'll see you guys soon. Later, bookies.